See him kind of stuck, even though the door is definitely big enough for him to get through. Hi! This week, for our weekend walk, we decided to go to the Subterranean Shunning Grounds. And if I'm honest, I hate this place. I don't think I'll be putting my weapons away for any of it. As you can see, we've already got people out and about. So we're going to do a mindful walk. We're going to ask ourselves some questions about what we can see and what we can hear. And we're going to try and stay in the present moment and, admittedly, probably increasing our feelings of disdain for this area. So, I'm going to try and crouch and maybe actually do a little bit of magic. This area is full of imps. It is also full of ogre bands and one or two other crustaceans lurking at the bottom. So, first thing we can hear is the footsteps of the ogre coming towards us. Oh, that was doing something. Okay. See if I can stay hidden and get a good look at it as it comes past. You can see the long blade that they've got, the extra growth of horns he's got coming out of his back and his arms, the chain attached to him. See the rag barely covering him. Next to him we've got another one in a better light. See the horns growing out of half of his face. There's some armour shining off. We have an imp here who seems to be obsessed with the doorway, and he's, of course. So, as we can see, he's got a stone face. See if I can bring him back in. Oh. Okay, he seems stuck, so we'll just leave him there. Hopefully he won't aggro. It's got one expression that doesn't move. And he runs kind of like a creature on all fours would. His legs hit the floor at different times. See the dust kicking up around it. See him kind of stuck, even though the door is definitely big enough for him to get through. And he seems to be getting desperate now. The kind of wings on the back that serve no purpose. So as we move through to this room, this is probably the worst room in the game. It's got several layers of pipes which are very easy to fall down. We can see some running water. And something's found me. Oh, he's realised he's got a ranged attack. Okay. Let's overkill. Oh, missed him. And he's moved away. Listen to the swooshing as he misses. Watch the ashes as he fades away. Except he's not fading away, he's staying there. There are different rules for different enemies in this game. So we've got brickwork here, merged in with roots from the city above. There's a hint of a light, but I don't think there's actually a hole to get up. So you can't see your whole way up to the city above, but you can see light trickling down. We've got a multi-layer platform here, lots of different pipes intersecting each other. The light turns a sort of sickly green on the way down, which is always delightful. As we come into here, got some extra pipe work. Got some ladders. We've got more of a solid ground underneath us instead of something that's been worked. Listen to the slide there. You can listen to the water coming in. has a very pixely browny red hue, like it's covered in clay, and it seems to have discoloured the wall behind it. Whereas the walls when we were further up seemed a bit clearer. So this isn't a worked floor, it just seems to be natural ground almost, that was kind of dug into and left. You get the impression that with the things draining into it, it used to be a worked floor and then has built up. There's lots of piled bodies just in this section here. They almost kind of naturally come from the floor and merge in with it. You can see the detail of the ribs and the eye sockets. You can hear the splashes of your own feet as you run backwards and forwards. We go back to the worked area. Just sneak past that guy. You can see the different textures going on between the wood and the stone. We need to jump over to this area. Which didn't really make a sound. I expected it to. It did kick up some dust. And we have a lantern on here, letting us know that we can get inside. So this is obviously the fun part. We know that these sewers are notoriously horrible, but somehow a lot of people manage to get inside them, and dogs, by the looks of it. Pick out the different shapes. If you stare at it long enough, you can see the different kind of animals and things that have been here. While some of them look like dogs, some of them are certainly rats, and some of them are definitely humanoids. Again, as we look off into the distance, we can see the green light. It's almost like we're chasing it around. If we head down, it kind of looks more worked again in this sewer. We start to find things like cracked pots. Got some nice little messages which are letting us know that we're supposed to go down here. On top of an old noble who is looking like he's about to phase through the floor. And left himself in a bit of an uncomfortable position. We go on further down. Got more bones leaving the sewer, and this time we have a metal grate, and you can see there's more water underneath us. So this is probably to let sewage flow down there. You'd assume it's to keep it out of this bit, but this seems to have just as much water in as well. So if we listen for the slide, as we come here, I mean no harm, we've got different pots. I won't get too close to them because I don't want to fight them if I don't have to. You can see that the pots all have arms, which is, well, look, you can target them, so they will come to life. Especially this big one in the corner. It's got patterns and swirls on him. Oh, that's what I wanted. The light changed, so he's lighter from here. He kind of goes into darkness when you look at him through the telescope. You can see where the pottery almost tries to turn into something organic, but it still looks really rocky in nature. And he's got rings over his arms, which I think would originally be handles before, I think, is it warriors that get put inside? So if we look over the edge before we set the lift off, again, we can't see the bottom here. The sound of water is definitely more around us. As you can see, there's lots of different waterfalls about. I keep calling them waterfalls, but I'm pretty sure they're just full of sewage. Which makes me wonder who's still using toilets in the Ashen Capital. Hear the sound of the lift moving and the mechanics. Squeaking of it. Clicking as it goes through the gears. Again, we've got another sort of bottomless pit down there. It does look like it has a bottom to it. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to check it out. And here we have our Grace. In a room that contains brown water, but if we turn our lantern off, you don't know that. It could almost be mistaken to be clear in the dark. You see the embers have somehow gotten in here as well. And, well, we know who's behind that, so I'm not going to go down that way for now. You can't really hear the splashing of the footsteps over the sound of the waterfall. And if you look closely, you can see in the mud, again, these are more bodies. They've just been caked in sludge. So, that's everything for me. Probably have a little rest at this Grace, maybe have a little sit down. Hope you enjoyed the walk. Remember, when you're doing these kind of things, ask yourself those questions. What can you see? What can you hear? Keep yourself in the moment. Hopefully this kind of mindfulness stops you from thinking too much about the past, worrying too much about the future. That's all for us this week. I hope you enjoyed the walk in a very unpleasant place. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.